Okay, November 720 Sierra. We are still working on the ribs. We've done the tail cone section, and we did rib 4, working on rib 3. Now, I will tell you that when we built the ribs on this jig for rib number 3, Sling, and we dimpled first. We followed the instructions and we dimpled according to the part number. However, when we built the actual rib, we found out that Sling transversed the part numbers, okay? So while this says RC3, RF ribs 302 RC, it's actually LC3. So you could not build this correctly. So these parts were mislabeled left and right. So they've been transversed. Again, the top two pieces, which are RF rib 301 RC5, okay, ended up being left, not right. So when we dimpled it, because their dimples are not the same on both sides, we ended up dimpling it incorrectly. Because we did the dimple, then we built it. So unfortunately, we now have to go back and re-dimple some stuff on this RC 301 rib at the top. So my point to you guys is, before you dimple, I would lay these out on the rib jig to make sure that left and right are correct, because the number of dimples on rib 301 RC5 and LC5 are different. Now we've got them reversed because we followed the instructions. So build all of the ribs on the rib jig before you dimple any of them. Take them off and then dimple them later, because Sling sent us the parts numbered, marked incorrectly. R became L, L became R. So we've got it incorrectly dimpled up here, and we'll have to fix that. So that's what I want to tell you guys on rib 3 right now. Rib 5, 4, and 2 were all correct, but rib 3 were transposed. The numbers from Sling were backwards. So when you build it, and you'll see, because there's only one way to build it, and all of the ribs basically build the same. So you'll see. So I just want to let you know that. All right, turn it off again, and we'll pick it up again. But I want to let you know about that. All right, everyone, this is November 720 Sierra. We just got through pulling the longerons out of this round tube that's kind of behind me. I don't know if you could see it, but it's long. It was nailed, and we had to pull out the first longeron, and this is page 13 of the manual. And yeah, we did finish clecoing up the ribs. We pulled the longerons out, and we had to find this short one in the box. And the longeron came out of this big tube back here, and we put all the other, and we have to build this sub-assembly on the side of this here. And if I'm right, part of, no, I'm not. I don't know what it's for yet, but it says, yeah, it does. It goes out the back.
Right here.
Interesting. So it goes out the back like that. I hope you can see that over there. Anyway, it goes out the back. And I'm not sure what it does yet, but there must be a reason for it, which is fine. And pull the bottom skin out, because we're going to be using that pretty soon too. So we're just going to go ahead and cleco up this bracket on here. It takes 998s and 995s. And there's no sense in turning the video on while you're watching us rivet it. But I wanted to show it to you. This little thing on page 13. It's easy to put together. The longeron was easy to find. The little part on the side, which was part number 2, was in there in the crate. So that took a little time to find it. But it was in a package by itself. So if you're looking for it. All right. So let me turn this off and we'll Cleco this up and rivet it. And then we'll see what's next. Okay. Good afternoon, I'm sorry. I went for my ham radio call sign. November 720 Sierra. We're out in the garage. It's Sunday afternoon. But we have figured out the bottom skin and we've pulled out the longerons that we need. And we are now starting to Cleco those in place. So we're getting something that actually is going to look like an airplane here. We did this middle one here yesterday. It's just Clecoed and build that piece yesterday. And so we're Clecoing about every third or fourth one right now, and we'll go back as we do these. We're having to figure out, of course, where the correct longerons go and which ones they go where. And we had to strip all the plastic out of them and label the parts. So that's where we're at with that. Put that back, please. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Hi. There you go. So we haven't said it in a while, but we should. Please like and subscribe because we get a lot of views, but not a lot of likes on the video. So if you could watch, it would be helpful. If you skip out early, then YouTube doesn't give us as much credit. So if you watch the video, please do a like on it so that we can have more higher in the YouTube algorithm. I don't know how that works, but that's what everybody says. So that. Don't forget we have our GoFundMe accounts and our GiveSendGo account. So if you'd like to donate, we'd appreciate it. Somebody has donated a couple times. One of the ham radio operators donated. And I will tell you that I spent some of that money and I bought a UHF VHF aero antenna. It's a UHF VHF antenna that is rated for 200 miles an hour. And while we were up at Oshkosh, Emily actually took a little class in Clecos and riveting and built a little notebook here in a second. She took a little class. This is Zenith on it. It's a different airplane, but it's a little notebook. And so we gave her these pieces and she had to Cleco these pieces together and then rivet them. And I'll let her tell you about that.
It was pretty cool. There were a couple ladies who had done stuff like this before, but most of them hadn't. And of course I had been doing this for a while, so I knew kind of what to do. But they just gave us the materials and instructions and said, have at it.
And so that was the finished product, so kind of cool. And I did actually show that to Sling, to Andrew Pittman at Sling, and I said, hey, you know, this would be kind of cool if that's something to practice with before we get the actual kit. So we talked to them, and he said he came in. Maybe he'll do one of those that says Sling on it, make it wider, and then ship it out when you first put in your deposit to practice getting some riveting and Clecoing, and it would be your build log. That's the notebook you would use for your build log. And so we thought that was. Hopefully that'll come from Sling. One of these days, a few years from now, hopefully Shiloh will be able to rivet and Cleco. We'll teach her how to do it. Well, this is the side longerons for the bottom skin, and then we've got 4 more. Okay, thank you. And let's flip this over. And
Okay.
the bottom of that.
Did that get you?
And let's see, what else do we got? We still have to find these inspection plates, and that's in there somewhere. We got to pull that out today. We're going to find those. The GMU mounting bracket that goes across from this, to me, is not the right. So we got this from Sling, and it's supposed to sit here, but there's no way that this goes in here. So I think that this is the one, probably this is the mounting bracket for the high wing or the Sling 2. This is not for the Sling TSi, because the instructions do not look like this one. So I'm going to have to write to Sling and say, hey, this is what I got, but I don't believe this is correct. So I can't mount this in here yet. It's the GMU mounting bracket. Unless this is part of another piece, but I instructions, it only shows it as one piece. So it doesn't make sense that this would be correct. Alright, so be careful because we just switched to left and to right. So that's why I was double checking. So let's see, we forgot to turn the camera back on when we were doing these two here, but they are clecoed in just temporarily. We haven't put a lot in clecos. So that takes care of the bottom ailerons, or no, longerons, I'm sorry, bottom longerons for the bottom skin. And these simply stay clecoed, and they don't know how to get riveted in right now, because the bottom skin, that as it comes around to form up with the ribs. So the next step after we've done this, of course I've got to put these frames on these inspection ports here, which I got to find somewhere in the box. Today's list to do. And then after that, we will flip the whole thing over and we will rivet these inside ones here, get riveted to the skin, but the outside ones do not. And then start putting in the ribs, which are sitting right over there. And so we've got the rear rib section that goes in here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the tail cone. So 2, 3, 4. That's the steps, and we're getting there, but we're not there yet. So let me just flip this over here. At this point, we just need to put in more clecos in those ones that we just did. And here, some more clecos in these. We'll do that now. I guess you probably don't really need to see us putting in clecos. But shall do that. Longerons on the bottom skin. Well, this is the first big skin we've got on the fuselage, so that's just cool. Alright, so I gotta find the plates for the inspection somewhere in that box over there. And I'll turn the video back on when I find those. But that's it for but we've got some longerons on, and this is great because now we can put ribs in and do all this stuff and make it actually start to look like a back end of an airplane. So really cool stuff. And I've got to get some, Evan shows in his video, he's got layers of cardboard this on as he flips it over so that he can rivet and it doesn't interfere with the tail hook back here. So I'll get either I'll get some strips of cardboard and we'll put them in here and make them a stack to help us. All right. This is November 720 Sierra for this section of it, and we'll keep working on other parts. Got to find the inspection plates, and then I'm going to have to write to Sling because I think this GMU bracket is the incorrect one. It's for a different airplane. Anyway, so please like and subscribe. And if you feel good, donate to our Give, Send, Go and our GoFundMe accounts. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, that's it. Have a great day.
Yep, thank you.